A very good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talk, a program where we'll highlight political concerns in Nigeria and offer solutions. Tonight on the program, we'll have a Nigerian statesman who will be highlighting the progress of the All Progressive Congress as we head towards the 2027 general elections. So stay with us. Let's go for a short break, and when we're back, I get to introduce my guest for the show tonight. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Politics shapes our security. Politics defines our future. But who is asking the hard question?
Is intimidating governors to our opposition, and some allegations even say monies are offered to the tune of billions of naira to these governors to come to the APC.
On Big Talk, we take politics beyond party lines and press statements. We interrogate policies, challenge power,
and it shall be addressed,
and demand accountability from those who govern. From the presidency to the National Assembly, from state governments to grassroots politics, we break down the decisions that affect your daily life. No propaganda, no political comfort zone, just facts, context, and fearless conversations. Big Talk is where leaders explain, analysts dissect, and the people understand.
2015 elections were not held. They are doing rigging.
Don't just watch politics, question it. Tune in to Big Talk on Global Television every weekday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the conversation.
All right, so tonight on the program, we'll look at the 2027 politics that started brewing as we move towards 2027. As we says, APC's performance so far. We'll have joining us Chief Ako Atoloma, who's the national coordinator of the Coalition of Patriotic Democrats. He's also a former commissioner in Abia State and also a former governorship candidate of the CPC. That's the Congress for Progressive Change, right?
That's right.
That culminated in the APC that we have today. You've been around for so long a time, Chief. Thank you so much, Chief Atoloma, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, and good evening, viewers.
So let's start during the CPC days. You joined the CPC as a young man.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
What was the motivation to play opposition party, the opposition politics that early?
Not really. What it led me to CPC was the slogan of change, and talk about change, talk about changing Nigeria for a better place, change for corruption, So such a slogan, I'm a person that I like things being done properly. And I saw Buhari in those good old days when he was a general, he was in the army, he was the head of state. They instilled discipline everywhere. Discipline was just the best of that government. And when I saw his party, and I felt I should, align myself with the party, I went in there. So that was what really attracted me to CPC.
All right. So at the time, CPC wasn't really prominent in the Southeast. We know that the ANPP was more popular and even APGA was more popular in the Southeast.
Yes, actually, the problem is that, you see, CPC would have been strong, but there were a few issues. The people that were there from the Southeast were virtually nobodies. Like when I joined CPC, I met Buhari and we discussed, and I was asked to produce the executive 5-year state. So, but when I was about doing that, somebody for selfish reasons, I wouldn't want to mention his name here, wanted to run for an office. So he insisted that he would want to retain the old people that he's been dealing with. When I look at the old people who were to be delegates, these are motor-parked out, who don't even have a home, don't have a job. They just went to motor-park, told them we are going to Abuja. When we get to Abuja, they will pay money, you will do this, you will do that. They assign portfolios to all of them. But in actual sense, there is no structure. There is nothing like CPC in Abia State. They don't have office, So it was a problem. So when you gather people like that, their motive is just to come to Abuja and vote for Obong. That was just their motive when you just come to Abuja. So I said, no, I'm not going to accept that. So, but they pleaded with me. I said, okay, I don't want to start with division. I told my people, I allowed them to go ahead, and they went ahead. But after the convention, we went back to Abia State, and we were able to reorganize CPC, had a functional office, it was strong. We did a very serious campaign in Abia State, and it became a party to be reckoned with. So the thing is that if you want to form a party, you must, first of all, look at the grassroots. You don't just form a party at the top. People who fly in from various states, they come to Abuja here, they tell you stories, you believe them. When you believe such stories, definitely that party can be strong. So CPC actually never had serious-minded people in the Southeast. Serious-minded. Very few of them were serious-minded. But in a place like Abia, Ebonyi, maybe, Imo had, because Mwajuba was there with his team, but Ebonyi, Abia, Anambra, I don't think we had serious presence there. So people who were, showing themselves as politicians there were just masquerades. They were not real politicians. So that was the only place that I think CPC, really was, presently felt was in Abia, Imo, and Enugu State.
All right, so today we have the APC, and we know that the APC is a coalition or a merger that we had in 2023, where the CPC, the NPP, ABGA, and some faction of the new PDP came together to form the APC. But I also had opportunity to interview some persons who are aware of the ANPP stock, who feels that the APC has not been fair to them. What's your assessment about the APC being fair to the different blocks that, culminated in the making of the APC as we have today?
In politics, people say it's self first. So when you are joining, when there was this amalgamation, APC, ACN, CPC, and other group, we came together. The problem was people were, people didn't look for collective interest. They were looking for personal interest. Mm-hmm. So if they have, like ACN was a better organized, team in the merger. ACN was the better, organized team in the merger in terms of party administration, in terms of really politicking. Mm-hmm. The CPC bloc, they had more followership from the north because of the late president. He was very popular among the northerners. Because of that, they had their own. But if you come to the other areas, they were not so strong. And ANPP, they cannot say they didn't get much. Ogboniono was ANPP, so he was a minister. Mm. There were a lot of them who also benefited. Ahmed Lawan, Senator Ahmed Lawan, was ANPP. So they cannot say they were marginalized. Like I told you, those of the parties that came from the southeast, south, where the thing was not strong, they couldn't get much, but they got something.
Right, so because the conversation I was tilting towards the fact that yes, in the APC as we have today, President Muhammadu Buhari was from the CPC bloc, your bloc, yes. And he was president for 8 years. Yes. The current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is of the ACN bloc, yes. And maybe doing 8 years in office. Mm-hmm. So the conversation was, shouldn't somebody from the ANPP bloc lead the APC in 2031 as the presidential flag bearer?
No, you see, the thing is that when you get into this, coalition or an amalgamation of parties, I believe that every party should lose its identity if you really want to succeed. Because if you keep talking about, like if you see what is happening now in the APC, you have the CPC bloc. Some are saying we are supporting the president to go for a second term. A few members, are saying no, they don't want to go. It is good to disallow this block issue. When you marry, it's a marriage, it's a family. When you are single, you talk of yourself. But when you decide to come into an arrangement, as a family. You should talk as a family. You can't be talking of CPC block, APC block, ACM block, ANPP block. Well, this is a selfishly, manufactured terms of politicians to see how they can get a better, bite of the cake. It is not really for the interest of the people. Which place, which country, which state is ANPP? Which community is ACN? Which community is CPC? There is nothing like, there is no community or state known as ACN or ANPP. What we have here is 36 states of Nigeria. So when all these groups come together to form a family, that family should be seen as a family. It's not, Obong is from ACN, they've gotten. When you start doing that, it brews division. And if you don't check it at that early stage, it would cause that family to disintegrate at a later stage.
But let's talk about how the APC came to power in 2015. We saw the APC telling Nigerians that they offer a better alternative. Before I go into more individualistic and detailed questions, I just want to ask you, in your opinion, these 10 years that the APC has done as the ruling party, what is your rating of your party?
Well, I am not a spokesman of APC.
Absolutely.
Yes, like I was introduced earlier, I am the national coordinator of CPD. And CPD is an organization, an amalgamation of political interest. I have various people from various parties. We came together. The essence of forming the group is because we have looked at Nigeria, said true democracy is not being practiced here. What is true democracy? True democracy is where somebody, you lose an election, you take your phone, you call the person that won, congratulate the person. It is not just fighting. Always setting booby traps for government in power to make sure that they flop, and then you use it as an issue against them in government. No. Patriotic democracy is where you consider Nigeria first, the interest of Nigeria. Well, you see, sometime in the United States, there were some flaws in the elections. People thought that the whole thing was going to blow up, but gradually they covered it up and they moved on. But if it's in Nigeria here, they will go to court. If there is customary court for election, they will start from there, go to appeal, go until they get to Supreme Court. And when they finish, they don't stop there. They will still continue to mobilize to ensure that government is seen to be an unpopular government. If they hear any hint that there's a place they are planning protests by any group or any union, they will go and support. They go and support them so that they will make the government unpopular. Which government are you making unpopular? Is it not our government? It's government of Nigeria. It is not government of the United States. It's not government of Gabon. It is government of Nigeria. So if we make our government look bad, definitely we look bad before the entire world. This is why in CPD we are talking of patriotic Democrats. No matter where you come from, after elections, those who lost have to be man enough to call the people who won and congratulate them. If you are so displeased with the election results, you go to the tribunal after the thing has been adjudicated, because you just call and say congratulations, my dear. If there is any way you need my help, I'm available. It ends there, but not to keep fighting, even when the Supreme Court has ruled. If there's another court, if there's a way that Nigerians know where heaven is, where God is sitting, they will appeal to God. So you can never bring angels here to come and rule this country. It's Nigerians. So we must be tolerant of each other. We must be tolerant. Nobody is so perfect. Like in this government, you're asking me to extract the 8 years or 10 years of 10 years
APC, yes, 2015 to
date. We had two presidents. It would be very unfair for me to do a comparison of the...
No, I just needed a general overview. We'll go into more detail about each of the presidents.
Yes. APC started well. Nigerian system, a few things didn't go quite well in the past administration. A few things, I must confess, a few things didn't go quite well. But when this government came, this present government was bold. The president was bold enough to stand on his feet to say, no, this can't continue. No, this should continue. He took some drastic steps that looked so painful, and people were complaining. But because he knew where he was taking this country to, he didn't mind the shouts, he didn't mind the cry. And right now, most of us are now seeing the dividends of those steps he took. Very, very bold steps, which no president was bold enough to take those steps. So these are the things, you see, if this government is allowed for another 4 years, definitely you will see that Nigeria will be a better place.
All right, so let's talk about 2015 now. 2015, we saw the APC campaign, and they told to Nigerians at that time PDP was a ruling political party, and the PDP was very, very well received by a lot of factions of Nigerians, a lot of places. And the PDP said they were going to be in power for a long time.
Yes.
But your party came, the APC with the major, and said, we will change Nigeria. We saw them talking about corruption at that time. So let's stay with corruption for some minutes now. Is Nigeria winning the war against corruption in this APC-led government?
Well, when like I told you, there are two segments of APC. We have the Buhari segment, and then I'll have the Asiwaju's segment. And I want to tell you, maybe you may not know, I was in PDP. I left PDP because I felt I was cheated. I was run for governorship of Abia State. I bought my nomination form, filled it, and I was getting ready for primaries. When I went for screening, they disqualified me on the grounds of petty grounds that I couldn't show proof of financial support to the party. That was what they said there, which is ridiculous. You see, when I donate money to the party, I'll ask for receipt. Or when I bring something for the party, I'll ask for receipt of those. So I felt it was too bad. So when I was in my privacy, I now analyzed. I said, these people, what they have done is wrong. What they have done is completely wrong. That was when I started thinking, how can we correct this thing? Who can correct this anomaly? Who can stand out and tell Nigerians the truth? And when I looked at the array, initially I wanted to go to Bonio's party, that was ANPP, was national chairman, and he sees me as his very good younger friend. And I wanted to go there. But at the time I said, no, let's be objective. I'll go to Buhari. He's a disciplinarian. With such a person, that a lot will be done. You see, but I don't want to drag myself into what happened during Buhari's time. Because if I open up with the things I saw there, Nigerians will be amazed. But I don't want to go into that. I know he fought corruption to the best of his ability, but I didn't see much of it. They were just painting pictures. Because if you can see what is happening now, some of those people who are supposed to be at the helm of fighting corruption are today being charged for corruption. They have corruption charges hanging on their necks. So when such people, let's see how the thing ends. I would like to concentrate on this Asiwaju administration, where that I am now monitoring. I'm seeing what they are doing. If there's any area they've not done well, I'll tell you they've not done well, and I will make suggestions how there could be an improvement. But basically, like I said before, for Nigeria to get better, we must be patriotic. If we're not patriotic, we're wasting our time. We must think of this country first. Jonathan, I see him as the greatest Democrat. For him to have considered...
He's a PDP member, and he's not a member of your party.
I know. I consider him as a great Democrat. He lost the election, and he picked his phone even before the election results is announced officially. He called the incoming president and said, congratulations. Ever since that, and nobody has done that. You saw what happened in 2019. You saw what happened in 2023. 2023 was even worse. We'll go to US, we're looking for documents. We'll go to, if it were possible to go to moon or to where God is staying to ask him questions, how did you create Asiwaju? They would have gone to ask God. Are those things necessary? Right. Other presidents of other countries, are they better than our own president? They're not better. They're not better. It's because people believe that they believe in their country and they want to preserve the respect of their country within the Committee of Nations. This is what a few things are overlooked. So, my friend, Let's go ahead with this.
Right, so I still want to ask the question again, because I remember that the APC strongly told Nigerians that this is what we offer. And one of the reasons a lot of Nigerians voted your party at that time into power was because of the messaging. It was clear. We'll fight corruption, we'll sort the economy, and we'll fix insecurity. Right, and yeah, you've talked about the fact that the Buhari administration may have tried, because the APC at that point pointed to the PDP. They said the PDP as a government were racketeering Nigeria's commonwealth. But some Nigerians have said, is the APC really different from the PDP?
My brother, the way corruption is being fought now is better than what happened in Buhari's time. Like as I said, right. I am not the spokesperson for APC. You know, I'm not even an officer of the party. You understand? So I am not in a good position to speak for them, but I'm speaking as a patriotic Democrat. So and I have to be very honest. The way this present administration is prosecuting corruption is far better than what we had during the last administration. So this is why we talk of party. In Nigeria, is there anything like party? There's not like party. People that, if you look at people who are in APC now, majority of people in APC, we are in PDP. Right. So it's just like a marketplace. You come and buy and you go, you come back next time. When they cheat you in this shop, like I was cheated in PDP, I left, I came to APC. You understand? So if we start judging on party basis in Nigeria, you'll be making a mistake, because we're the same people, the same group of people moving from one. Okay, now you see all the governors in PDP, they are now in APC. Visually, all of them are in APC, but they're the same PDP people. So when you start talking of PDP didn't do well, who are the people who didn't do well? Are they not the same people that are with us now? So you will talk about administrations. So right now, CPD will talk about administrations. We'll talk about the administration of each person. Because if you talk about party, you'll be getting it wrong. You find a situation where very soon now you will not have anybody in PDP. You see the crisis in PDP. So when you start castigating PDP, it's a very bad party. Who are the PDP members? They've all gone to APC, gone to ADC, they're in Labour Party, they're in other parties. And so now even trying
are you not bothered that this is the kind of political party system we run, where people can just wake up in this party and get to this other party? Are you not bothered that it may have some negative consequences on the way we grow as a people?
No. I'm not really bothered, because I believe that a time shall come when things will stabilize. This democracy we're talking about is because, we've not taken time to assess democracy in Nigeria and try to see whether we're making progress. Actually, we're making progress in Nigeria. Democracy is developing, and I think it will come to a stage where it will stabilize. By that time, we'll not talk of ideologies, So
for now, no ideology.
No, it's just how to win power, how to get power, how do you grab power. That is the thing. So that is why I said when we're assessing government, we don't assess based on party. We assess based on the person who is running the government. We're assessing Asiwaju, not just APC. Because if you're assessing PDP, what are the PDP members? If you call PDP members now, you won't even get 1/10. All of them have joined other parties. They're either in APC or they're in ADC. You understand? So we look at who are the heads of this government. We talk of Jonathan's government, yes, we assess it. We talk of Olusegun Obasanjo, yes, we assess him. We look at Muhammad Buhari, we assess him. Right. This time around, is the turn of Asiwaju. So we assess Asiwaju too, based on his performance, not of party. If you talk of party, you're getting it wrong. Tomorrow, if anything happens in APC now, you see them now like birds in drove to another party where it is happening. But I believe with time, things will stabilize. Because if you look at the way politics started in Nigeria, there was a time in this country, if you are in an opposition party, we can't greet each other. You understand that? If you are in an opposition party and you are running a supermarket, I can't come there to buy. If I'm seen buying something from your shop, it's anti-party. There was a time, like, if APC is the governing party in Nasarawa State. If they see convoy of another party crisscrossing the streets of Nasarawa State, they will attack them. That time, but this time around, you find out that PDP, APC, Labour Party, they sit together, they drink, the supermarket are entering to buy something, don't even know who owns it, whether it's a Labour Party man or it's an APC man. You just go there and do your thing. You see, these things are wearing off gradually. So this time, as these things are wearing off, ideology will start to evolve. But the thing is that we want to be like the white man. We want to evolve like them overnight. No, this thing takes time. I believe that in a couple of years' time, maybe that time will be too old, you know. You see, these things will take shape. Right. People will understand politics. They will play the way it should be played, you know. So that is
right. So let's talk about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, yes, the current president. He was national leader of the APC at the time, and he was also national leader of the ACN. Yes. You know, that midwife into the APC as we have today, and we've seen him from day one coming with some reforms that we've never seen before, right? Like the fuel subsidy removal, and day one he said subsidy is gone. In your assessment, you have spoken to people in the grassroots, you have friends who are high up there in politics and in power. Do you think that policy at that time was the right thing for Nigeria?
Look, if he didn't do it that time, circumstances, pressure would have made it impossible for him to do it. So once he has said it as a president, he has said it. If things fell apart, it looks as if Nigeria was going to collapse. But have we collapsed? You see, people were crying, and the enemies of this country, like I told you, it is good for us to be patriotic. Instead of looking for a way to support what the pronouncement of the proclamation of the Mr. President to ensure that the thing works, most opposition people now went ahead to see what they can do to make sure they use that to pull him down. But today, that singular statement he made, that policy statement he made, has made it possible for most states to be carrying out a lot of developmental programs in their states. Formerly, I had served before in a PDP government in Abia State when Dr. Ojo Okalu Senator Ojo Okalu was the president, was the governor. Right. I was in charge of reconciling government accounts with banks, and I saw how much that came in from FAC. Before the money comes, the government has taken overdraft. And when the money comes, wipes off the overdraft, there will be little money even to pay salaries. That time, you pay some ministries, you don't pay some. You can't even pay contractors. And that was why there were huge pension arrears. You can't talk of paying pensions. You want to pay those who are coming to work so that at least you can sustain the work structure. So it was difficult for people to really manage states. Even up to the time of Buhari, many states can't even pay salaries. Many states can't even do any developmental projects. But my brother, go to various states because of this singular bold step Mr. President took. States are now happy. A lot of funds are now available. Developmental programs, welfare programs. You go to some states that have never smiled before since their creation. Today they are all smiling. It's because of this singular action. So I want to appreciate that. Is it not a landmark?
Yeah, but some Nigerians are also complaining, Chief, of the fact that it wasn't really thought through as to mitigation efforts. Yes, we're supposed to have transportation subsidies, so just to cushion the effects about the ordinary Nigerian, because it was a spike in transportation. Places those of us, or some Nigerians, used to do for 500 naira. They were now doing it for over 1,000.
Yes,
and their salaries didn't increase.
Yes, let me tell you, like I said before, right, if Mr. President had waited, then, and you know, it's a policy. Those around him know he's going to say that. And they will start discussing it. Papers will be correspondences, memo. And when that thing starts, the enemies of who benefit from this subsidy, they will organize themselves and fight back. And they will frustrate and make sure it doesn't work. If he's waiting for a time when he will put this thing palliative here, put this there, it will not work. People will frustrate it. And today, that money which all the state governors are enjoying now, look at today, you see a local government getting up to 400 and something million naira a month from allocation. It has never happened before. So all we need to do is to put eyes on those state governors who are not really allowing the local government to access their money. If there's a way to compel them to do that, you see, most of the local governments will be smiling as the states are smiling. Look, Ubong, drive around the country. You see changes, you see development, see infrastructures being put in place. How can this thing come? Is it like like I told you, when I was serving all this Carlos government, at a time before the FAC allocation will come, there is overdraft already. And when that one comes, it will take almost half of the FAC allocation. Then you have to wait for the banks to reconcile and then agree to give you another facility. Now that will enable you not to pay salaries. And the salary bill was something huge. So that time there was not even money to talk of tarring road. The governors then who were doing projects must be commended. Must be commended. People are being funny at times when they make careless remarks because they've not been in government. If you get into government, you know that it is not easy. But today, what is happening now, by the grace of that singular pronouncement, that policy, which Asiwaju stood firm. If he had waited to do some other palliative arrangements, he wouldn't have succeeded. They would have sabotaged him. And by the time you know it, Nigeria will be in flame. He will be busy trying to put off the flame, and that subsidy will still remain. Because this is a cabal, serious cabal, who were really chopping us dry. And they didn't want to leave Nigeria. So it is good for us, he said it. I appreciate it. Today, there are a lot of goodies coming from it. Now, we can talk of NEL Fund. Students go to school seamlessly, except those who don't want to access it. Those who have accessed it are happy. I have people that I know that have accessed it. Money cannot stop you from going to university in Nigeria today. Once you pass your JAMB and you get in, you process all the necessary things. If you get this thing, you get your money seamlessly. You get tuition, you get the support, you get all the necessary things. So you don't need to start going to do menial. You know that before, some students go do menial jobs to get some money, come back to school. It was terrible. But now it is no longer the case. So all we are trying to say is that let more students access this. If the more they access it, the better for this country. But they are accessing it. So there are a lot of goodies that have come out of this fuel subsidy this was money. So few people will gather and put in their pocket.
Right, so let's still talk about people that are gathering, because some Nigerians are still concerned, Chief, that the governors that we have today are still, some governors may also be misappropriating these funds, and the funds may not get to the people it is intended. Yes, some states are getting triple of whatever FAC allocation they used to get, but are we seeing projects on the ground in this government? Especially, let's even talk about APC governors. Are we seeing APC governors putting out projects corresponding to the amount of resources that is now available at their disposal?
Well, like I said, I like to be objective. I have not taken pains to go around the states. But the few states I've gone to, I'm impressed.
Which are?
I wouldn't want to, because it will look as if I'm trying to blackmail some states, But there are obvious states that I have visited. By the time we are having our national conference very soon, after that we'll take a tour of the states. And when we'll take a tour of the states, we'll now assess what you are doing. Before the elections, we'll talk to Nigerians. We'll go to all the states, we'll look at what you've done. We'll now come out and say, yes, this governor has done well. Support him. Support him, irrespective of party. Support him. Just like as we have assessed Asiwaju and seen that he has done well.
But are the matrix?
What? My brother, it is obvious. if you look at, we've talked about the first subsidy that is stopped, and now the money is now being used to ensure that all the states are now getting more money, with which they are which they have now putting into developmental projects. Like I said, if you go to some states, like I have visited some states, you will see projects. Like I just said, the states are smiling. If you're entering a state capital, you see the state is smiling. So if you go now, this NEL fund we're talking about, it is still the same source. You see, there is cash transfers, to indigent people to support them. Government is doing a lot to support even the small-scale businessmen, the agric, they are supporting. Things are getting better, but we've not gotten there yet. We've not gotten there yet. Because somebody who had gone through a rough road, by the time he starts recuperating, it takes some time. I believe that in the next 4 years, Nigeria will be a better place. You will see that these Nigerians will not regret having voted, Asiwaju into office.
Right. But one of the things that a lot of Nigerians mention about this government is the issue of inflation. For that serious rise in inflation, and this has affected even, yes, the government have increased minimum wage from 35,000 or there about 37,000 to about 70,000. Yeah. But some Nigerians are still saying that the 70,000, if you compare vis-a-vis some of the things that 30,000 could get for you some 10 years ago, 70,000 cannot get for you. So there's been high inflation also, and it seems it's not really been counted well.
Well, I want to show you, Ubon, that right now in Nigeria, there's inflation, but life is better in the sense that you have money that has been plowed into social services, and this money that is part, what the government needs to do is to ensure that this thing is well managed. It is a new program. You manage it very well. Nigerians are terrible. We are terrible people, in the sense that I'm saying it because, we don't want to encourage good things in a way, because we want to do things and sabotage the government of the day. Take, for instance, fuel prices came down from November.
Right. From 9 something to even about 6 something.
Good. But instead of transport fare complementarily going down, what is happening? Transport fare was going high. From Abuja to Port Harcourt, before it used to be 30,000 when fuel price was high. But when fuel prices were coming down, somebody expects that at least you should transport fare from Abuja to Port Harcourt should go down to about 25,000. But rather, instead of 20,000, it is skyrocketing to 70,000. Why? Is it Asiwaju that is causing that one? When the drivers go to filling station and buy fuel at a reduced rate. This is why there is need for Nigerians to be reoriented. You have to be patriotic. If you're not patriotic, there is no time that any government will do that to be appreciated. Like you were saying before, that actually should have made arrangements, plans for palliatives before he said subsidy was gone. Right. If he had not declared it, he wouldn't have ever done it, because they would have frustrated him. They would have made sure he doesn't do it. And when he doesn't do it, the suffering will continue. Developments that we're witnessing in so many states now wouldn't come. This money that students are getting, they wouldn't get it. So look at the tax regime.
We'll come back and talk about that. But let's go for a break. People, let's go for a break. And when we come, we still have Chief Ako, who's with us as we discuss assessing APC's performance, especially Bola Ahmed Tinubu's performance so far. We'll be right back after this break. Stay with us.
It's our economy. Politics shapes our security. Politics defines our future. But who is asking the hard question?
Is intimidating governors to our opposition, and some allegations even say monies are offered to the tune of billions of naira to these governors to come to the APC.
On Big Talk, we take politics beyond party lines and press statements. We interrogate policies, challenge power,
and it shall be addressed,
and demand accountability from those who govern. From the presidency to the National Assembly, from state governments to grassroots politics, we break down the decisions that affect your daily life. No propaganda, no political comfort zone, just facts, context, and fearless conversations. Big Talk is where leaders explain, analysts dissect, and the people understand.
2015 elections were not held. They are doing rigging.
Don't just watch politics, question it. Tune in to Big Talk on Global Television every weekday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the conversation.
Welcome back to the program. If you're just joining us, this is Big Talk, a program where we highlight political issues concerning Nigeria. My name is Ubong Osoro, and we have Chief Ako Atoloma, who's joined us as the National Coordinator of the Coalition of Patriotic Democrats. He is also a former commissioner in Abia State and former governorship candidate of the Congress for Progressive Change, the CPC. Thank you so much, Chief, for joining us in Abuja studios for this conversation as we access the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration and the APC administration so far. We're talking about the tax regime. We've seen from January 1, the president, of course, last year signed in the new tax laws into law, and we saw it take effect from January 1. And a lot of Nigerians have talked about, I personally have had a privilege to speak, have interaction with the chairman of the tax committee, Taiwo Oyedele, and I've heard him say some things. But a lot of Nigerians are worried as to what may be befalling them as regards the tax regime, as regards reduction, as regards tax compliance, as regards taxation. Some people feel it is so high, even though the presidency has described that it is better for those who may not be earning so much, because they're trying to create a tax system where they get from the upper class more and service the lower class and create a balance. But let's talk about it. What are you hearing the people say about the new tax regime?
Like I told you before, patriotism is a problem. If Mr. President didn't discontinue the fuel subsidy, would have been the mess would have continued. You know that in those days when we were little children, if they are going to inject you, if you go to the hospital and they want to, once a nurse comes for an injection, you start screaming. You're screaming, you feel that that injection is going to kill you. But that injection is something that is going to give you life. So the tax regime, Nigerians don't like to pay tax. Nobody has bothered. I have listened to the chairman, and he has been able to explain this and explain it. But those who don't want to hear will never want to hear. And if government listens to them and withdraws that policy, definitely Nigeria will be doomed. The thing is, the new tax, agenda is geared towards helping the poor. But they draw me to look as if it is a match to hurt the masses. It is not true. We should be patient and allow this thing to roll out. Let this thing go for 1 year. Nigerians don't like to pay taxes. You must know that. Nobody wants to pay tax. Nobody wants to pay tax.
Nigerians are also complaining, because I've heard them. They say if in the UK, for instance, if you're paying tax and you lose your job, you are put on some sort of compensation to someone, but it's not done.
These social measures will come. How will they come when the money is not there? And like we were talking about the students' loan scheme, it has come. We were talking about some stipends that are given to some indigent persons. It has come. All we need to do is to make sure we fine tune it. It's just started. You have to fine tune it to take a very perfect nature. If you start something, there will be areas that you need to touch as you get on. So there will be you keep pressing it until you get there. You don't get there automatically by mere proclamation. You just say, "Let it be." We are not God who said, "Let there be light," and there was light. No, when we said, "Let there be light," we must put pole. We must start putting cable. We must start wiring the house. We are not like God who said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So these things are processes, but there are enemies who want to drum up the negative. When they pick something, like I gave an illustration. I said, when we want to give injection in those days, once they bring that injection, you start screaming. Yeah? The impression is that it is painful, but that is what is going to kill the malaria in you. All the ailments you have, that thing is going to kill it. But if you cry and your parents say, "Okay, no, please leave this injection," and they take you home, you go there and suffer the ill health, and the child might die. So now, those enemies of the state will never allow these measures to take place. They will look for the areas that doesn't sound too nice, and they will highlight it. Like when I want to give a child an injection, they will highlight the pain the needle will give. They will not tell the child that this is a healing process. So if you don't insist and say, "My child must take this injection," that child will die. So if you look at it, the government has been trying to explain. That is why in CPD we are going to go to all the nooks and crannies of the states. We are going around because we have our 36 state executives. We have the zonal in the various zones. We have the FCT chapter. We have the local government. In some states, they go to the ward level. So we are going to go so that through town hall meetings and road shows, rallies, will make sure the people between now and September will be sure that we have drummed a lot of things into the ears of Nigerians so that they appreciate what government is doing.
Right. So, but Chief, one of the concerns has been that the timing has not been very comfortable. We are just finishing from the fuel subsidy. We talked about currency stabilization, where we are no longer supporting a naira again, and some Nigerians that were paying school fees in the UK, other countries have to now pay triple of that, because $1 to a naira that was going for 600 is now going for 1,500, and just after that, taxation. So some persons are saying President Tinubu is a tax master. He just wants to keep taxing Nigerians.
No, when will it be best? As long as it is tax, there will never be a best time. And let me tell you, this tax regime is geared towards getting from the rich, and so that the poor will benefit. But the rich men whom they are going to collect this money from, they will devise ways. They are the ones at home. They will call, when they get home, villagers will come. What did you get for us? This government don't finish us. I think they hear about this tax something. They say, all of now, even to buy palm oil, they can't buy you. That is the message they send home. But let me tell you, if you take your time and study this tax regime, that is the best thing for Nigeria. And just like the fuel subsidy, once this tax regime is put in place, my brother, you will find out that that is the best thing for this country.
Right, sir. But you know that in Nigeria, a lot of people pay for their medical health bill.
Yes.
We have our health coverage is still very low. A lot of people drill their water. A lot of people pay for their security. A lot of people pay for their transportation. Basically, little or nothing of government support.
No, the support will come. That's what I tell you. We need to be patient with government. And look at where they are going. Like I've given you an instance. Right. They started with the fuel subsidy. You see where we are today. Even though people are still looking for a way to see if they can go back to the old order. But it's impossible. Because we are past that stage. There is no way fuel subsidy will come back. You understand that? So now the states are reaping. What I said that is left now is for some of the state governors to allow the local government to assess their money. Because you get the local government that, I don't think there's any local government that gets less than 400 million every month. So if a local government gets up to 400 million every month, and they apply it into development of infrastructures in the local government, definitely, if you go home, that place will be, will be another world. So let us be patient with the government. Allow them to put these things in place. Forget what the opposition people are saying. What are they? Even if you bring angels to come and rule this country, definitely they will pick loopholes. They will pick loopholes. The program the government has, yes, it is when it is started, it's painful, but with time, like this fuel subsidy. Anybody who told you that fuel will start coming down from 1,400, 1,500, today is less than 700 naira. Anybody who tells you that in a couple of months it will happen, will you believe that? You won't believe it. So with time,
even the fuel subsidy, we've talked about how we don't have our refineries there, and we're still banking on Dangote refinery.
No. With time, licenses have been given. Right. Licenses have been given, and I'm sure they are all making efforts to, because Dangote has shown the way, and they now know that that's the way to go. Importation, through which where they steal money through subsidy, that one doesn't work again. So the genuine people that are in the petroleum business will now come back and start setting up, refineries. And when these refineries are here and there, there'll be a lot of competition, and the fuel prices will drop. It could drop to a level that in Nigeria you see we'll start buying fuel at 100 naira again for a liter.
I'm not doubting you, but is that possible?
It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. If somebody told you that by January last year, that by December you can find fuel for 700 naira, will you believe it? Will you believe? You won't believe it. All those enemies of the state were drumming up bad news that it's 1,000 this now, by June it will go to 2,000.
Right. So as we try to end the program now, so 2027 general elections is by the corner, and there were some factors that played in for President Bola Tinubu, a Muslim ticket, it was a turn of the South and all of that. Do you think those factors will play? What will be the most striking factor for Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Well, I am not in their strategic team that plan their elections, but I believe that when Nigerians recognize that we are Nigerians, wherever you come from is immaterial. What we want is quality persons to run our government. People who will be committed to ensure that this country moves forward. That Obong can always take care of his family, live a good life, and be happy. The children will go to good schools, grow up to be good citizens. That's what you need. So whether it's a Muslim or it's a Christian, it doesn't really matter. What matters is how good, like when we started, we were talking of political party, PDP ruled for this. I said, leave that PDP. Talk of individuals. Because both PDP, APC, all of them, they are the same people. They are the same people. So whether you are a Muslim or don't know whether you're a Muslim, you don't know what I'm a Muslim. So the most important thing is, are you a Nigerian? That's the most important thing. Where you come from should be material. As long as you can deliver. What we want is people who will deliver. Whether it's a Muslim ticket or Christian ticket, capacity to deliver. The guts to do great things for this country.
Thank you so much, Chief Ako Atumola. Thank you so much, Atuloma. I think I got the name right.
Atuloma, yes.
Thank you so much, National Coordinator, Coalition of Patriotic Democrats, former Commissioner Abia State and former governorship candidate of the CPC. Thank you for speaking to us. We wish you, your party, all of the best.
Thank you very much.
All right, people, that's the size of our program for tonight. Remember to always love Nigeria and do what is right for the country. My name is Ubongo Zoro in Abuja, and I'm saying bye for now.